Chapter 1. Arrival through the Sun Portal. The ancient solar system thrived in an era lost to memory. Planets vibrant, civilizations powerful, and a confederation that held the cosmic order in its grasp. But on this day, a new presence pierced the calm. The soul ship Andromeda. It emerged through the Sun Portal, a colossal vessel shaped like a dark, menacing star, its surface gleaming with unknown metals. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, eyes steady, heart heavy. Behind him, General Lucifer paced, his gaze sharp as the stars themselves. "We come bearing 2 billion souls," Aaron said, voice resolute. "The children of Abraham. Refugees from a system no more. We seek sanctuary, alliance, integration." The Confederation's response was cold and unwavering. No clearance would be granted. Aaron's jaw tightened. "We cannot turn back. There is nowhere else left. We are desperate." Lucifer's lips turned into a grim smile. "Then we take the desperation to them, by fighting." Chapter 2. The Doomsday Protocol. The crew moved with quiet urgency. Among them were Adam and Eve, the first of the children to walk this new world, and their sons Cain and Abel. The ship's Genesis device, their last hope, was primed for activation. Captain Aaron hesitated. "This will devastate Maldek, but it will prepare a home for us." Lucifer's voice was cold steel. "The Confederation will not wait. They have already opened fire." The Genesis device unleashed its fury upon Maldek. The planet shattered, fragments hurtling into the void, destined to become the asteroid belt. As alarms blared, Andromeda was caught in a hailstorm of Confederation fire. Chaos erupted aboard. Aaron's hand rested on the control panel, unwilling to surrender. In the shadows, Lucifer's followers closed in. A blade flashed. Aaron gasped, then fell. With his last breath, Aaron triggered the ship's self-destruct. The explosion was cataclysmic, and the remnants of Andromeda settled into orbit around Gaia, becoming its silent moon. Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel fled. Lucifer followed, his battalion of mechanical warriors at his heels. Chapter 3. The Betrayal and the Fall of Andromeda. The bridge was engulfed in smoke and flashing red lights. Captain Aaron's vision blurred, but his resolve remained unshaken. The betrayal stung worse than the wound, a dagger plunged by one of Lucifer's own, a shadow among shadows. "Why?" Aaron whispered, staggering. General Lucifer stood over him, eyes cold but unwavering. "You had this coming for a long while, Aaron. You doomed us all in the past." Aaron's hand found the self-destruct sequence. With trembling fingers, he initiated the final command. The ship shuddered violently, a roaring firestorm consuming metal and memory. In the chaos, Adam and Eve grabbed their children, rushing to the escape pods. The corridors trembled as the Andromeda's heart exploded, scattering debris into the void. Outside, the remnants of the soul ship drifted silently, a dark sentinel now orbiting Gaia, the new moon. Chapter 4. Refuge on Gaia. Gaia welcomed them with a sky torn by fire and rain. Adam and Eve landed with heavy hearts, their children close, but the horror was far from over. Beneath the earth, General Lucifer's mechanical battalion stirred. His presence seeped into Cain's mind, a dark whisper growing louder. "Kill them all," Lucifer commanded, his voice like grinding iron. Cain's eyes flashed with fury. A shadow twisted him, and in a moment of madness, he struck down Abel. Adam and Eve could only watch, powerless. The land around them shuddered with the weight of betrayal and blood. Cain now, wandered the earth, feared and untouchable, his power born of fratricide, his curse eternal. Chapter 5. The Rise of Cain. Cain's footsteps echoed across the barren lands. His body bore the mark of his dark feast, the blood and flesh of his brother Abel, granting him strength beyond mortal limits. Wherever he walked, fear followed. No one dared challenge him. Whispers called him a demon, and a mortal cursed to wander alone. Yet Cain sought purpose beyond mere survival. He journeyed eastward, to the ancient people of Deneb, where legends spoke of a dragon god, Cain found the dragon's temple, its stone carved with tales of power and wisdom. There, he forged an alliance, binding his strength with theirs. Now armed with forbidden knowledge and new allies, Cain turned westward, eyes set on Mesopotamia, the realm of fish god Dagon. Chapter 6. Alliances and Intervention. Mesopotamia was a land of rivers and gods. Cain sought out Dagon, hoping to bind the fish god to his cause. But Eve, watching from her realm near Baghdad, learned of Cain's plan. She confronted Dagon, warning him of Cain's darkness, the fratricide, the corruption, the hunger for power. Dagon hesitated, torn between alliance and warning. Cain, frustrated but not defeated, retreated to Phoenicia, a land of seafarers and traders. From there, he propelled rapid technological advancements, preparing for war. The stage was set, the realms tightened their grips, and the ancient struggle deepened. Chapter 7. The Brewing Storm. The winds whispered of war. Cain's technological advances surged like wildfire, unsettling the balance of power. Phoenicia's harbors bustled with new ships, armed with strange weapons and powered by secrets that defied nature. Adam's realm in the west fortified its walls, while Eve's domain in the east summoned priests and sages to protect their people with ancient rites. The Confederation, though weakened by Maldek's destruction and internal strife, still cast a watchful eye from Saturn and Venus. Their grip was slipping, but their resolve remained. Beneath the surface, Lucifer's mechanical battalion stirred, biding time, their metallic hearts cold and patient. Chapter 8. Rise of Phoenicia and the War against Egypt. Cain's fleet set sail, dark sails cutting through the Mediterranean winds. His eyes were set on Egypt and the Sea Peoples, a realm rich in resources and ancient magic. Battles ignited along the coastlines, fire and steel clashing beneath sun and storm. Cain's forces, bolstered by his unearthly strength and arcane technology, pressed hard against Egypt's defenses. The children of Adam and Eve rallied their allies, forging uneasy coalitions to resist the rising tide. The realms trembled on the edge of chaos, their futures uncertain as war's shadow lengthened. Chapter 9. The Realms of Adam and Eve. In the heart of Adam's realm, the city that would one day be called Rome, fortifications rose like stone sentinels against the gathering storm. Adam, now revered as a god among men, walked the marble halls, his gaze steady but troubled. Eve's realm, nestled near the rivers of what would become Baghdad, thrummed with spiritual energy. Priests and scholars pored over ancient texts, seeking wisdom to counter the darkness spreading across the lands. The children of Adam and Eve convened in secret councils, their voices heavy with the burden of legacy and destiny. Yet, beneath the surface, fractures appeared. Not all factions agreed on how to confront Cain. Some sought diplomacy, others whispered of preemptive strikes. The Confederation, though distant, maintained agents among the realms, their influence subtle but persistent. They watched, waiting for the right moment to intervene. The stage was set for a conflict that would shake the very foundations of the world. Chapter 10. The Looming Great Flood and the Tacitus. Dark clouds gathered, and the earth groaned beneath the weight of forces unseen. Rivers burst their banks. The seas rose with fury. The great flood was more than nature's wrath. It was Lucifer's final, desperate act. Beneath the surface, his mechanical battalion stirred, ready to unleash devastation. But at the heart of the storm lay another power, a hidden relic known as the Tacitus. This ancient crystalline artifact, long buried beneath Gaia's crust, pulsed with arcane energy. The Tacitus held knowledge and power capable of bending reality itself, a force both feared and coveted. Lucifer sought to seize the Tacitus to amplify his mechanical legions and crush all resistance. Yet the children of Adam and Eve, aware of its terrible potential, marshaled their forces to protect the artifact. As floodwaters swept away cities and kingdoms, the Tacitus became the fulcrum in the battle for Earth's soul. Amid the chaos, Cain's shadow loomed, his hunger for power undiminished. He too sought the Tacitus, knowing that with it, he could tip the scales forever. the stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of worlds. Chapter 11. The Great Flood, the Battle for the Tacitus, and Lucifer's Defeat. The deluge was relentless. Water swallowed cities, rivers carved new paths, and skies wept for a world undone. Lucifer's mechanical battalion emerged from the earth's depths, their cold, unyielding forms wading through the chaos with one goal: domination and the capture of the Tacitus. Adam and Eve's children rallied their forces, wielding ancient wisdom and newfound strength. The battle raged across flooded plains and ruined temples, a clash of light and shadow that shook the foundations of Gaia itself. At the heart of the conflict, the Tacitus glowed fiercely, its power awakening in response to the turmoil. Warriors fought desperately to hold the artifact, knowing that whoever controlled the Tacitus could shape reality and decide the war. In a final, desperate confrontation, Lucifer was cast down, his mechanical legions shattered and scattered. The floodwaters began to recede, but the cost was immense. Civilizations lay in ruin, and survivors were forever changed. Amid the ruin, Cain stood, the Tacitus barely out of reach. His hunger undimmed, his purpose clear, he would return, and with the Tacitus, reclaim his lost power. Chapter 12. Cain's Ascendance in the Aftermath. The flood's aftermath was a fractured world. Realms struggled to rebuild, haunted by loss and betrayal. Cain moved through the shadows, his power growing with every step. The blood and flesh of Abel, consumed in that ancient moment, granted Cain a cursed immortality. Each death only weakened him slightly, but time was on his side. He understood now the cycle of his reincarnation, bound to the moon, the dark satellite that was once the soul ship Andromeda. With renewed resolve, Cain set his sights on the future, a future where he would reclaim his lost power. Chapter 13. The Immortal Wanderer. Millennia passed, civilizations rose and fell, but Cain endured. Each life was a struggle, his strength fading with time, but his will remained unbroken. He watched as technologic progress ebbed and flowed, waiting for the moment when humanity would reach the stars. His obsession? The dark side of the moon, the resting place of the soul ship Andromeda, and the key to his full power. The legends of Cain grew, whispered in fear and awe across the ages. Chapter 1. Arrival through the Sun Portal.